Well, my name's Sophia, so I've been on the farm for the last 3 years working for Mum and Dad, but the farm originally was in the family since 1916. Well, my personal goal is to keep the farm in the family for the next 50 years so we can really get to that 150, but by that stage I'll be 72. So there's a few years to go till then. We've got about 350 Holstein Friesians, a couple of crossbreds in there, but not the main focus of the breeding here. Our main goal is Holstein Friesian, and on top of that they're much easier to market when it comes to calves, but also they are doing in excess of 600 milk solids, which is kind of where we'd like to be, to sort of be efficient at what we're doing, but also have the genetics there to carry us through to the potential that this farm can be at. Being able to get my head around the likes of XLs really made me be able to analyse the data that we're getting from the animals. So just individual cow performance, being able to put that in a spreadsheet and just look at the trends, and having it on your phone and having it all accessible like that. But in terms of long-term idea is really breeding a cow that has the capability to be a performing cow as a heifer as she enters the herd, and continue that trend as she goes. And part of that is choosing good genetics with good components and becoming a bit more efficient in how that cow's output is versus the input that we're giving her, because we do feed them quite a bit, and we are feeding them maize, straw, in-shed meal blend, soybean hull, pasture, minerals. So there's a lot that's going into the girls, so we need to make sure that what we're putting into them is coming back as a form of return on investment. Like most farms, animal welfare is a really important thing, and the likes of, say, dehorning, those processes. I mean, not just that they do add an extra cost to the business of, the veterinary expense of actually having someone come out, dehorn and do a proper job, and also making sure that the calf isn't experiencing any of that pain and doesn't have any of that swelling post dehorning, that they can get back into feeding, back into growing, back into eating. And if we can sort of be able to transition the herd into being a polled herd, that would be great, because it would just remove an element of cost that sort of sits beneath any calf rearing operation. And starting off with strong, healthy calves, I think, is the key to any farm success. So when I came home 3 years ago to help Mum and Dad out, I took on the calf rearing role, and it was a really great step into the farm. But because I wasn't too keen on the bobby calf side of things, and I got myself into a slight pickle because I ended up rearing everything. So I had I've got a few crossbreds lurking in the herd. So I mean, not the end of the world. They are first crosses. And which is great, because leaning back to the Friesians, if you do have a Jersey bull situation, then you do have a market there for your first cross. But anything after that, you're challenged to find a market that wants, Kiwi cross cows that have been through a few crosses since. Whereas Holsteins has been really great, because you've got a market for the bulls, you've got a market for the heifers. They're great strong animals that when you do put another breed over them, such as a Belgian Blue, they are capable of calving that calf. We've had no problem getting those Samen calves, heifers, away to a buyer that really wants them and sees the merit in them and understands, much beyond your standard New Zealand genetic markers being BW and PW. They're actually seeing value in the genetic merit that Samen offers. So for a lot of farms that are, are following more of a fully fed cow model of, not just grass, not just silage, not just maize, but all of it together, minerals and maybe even in-shed feeding, having cows or genetics that are capable of storing that energy and producing milk and have the longevity to stay in your herd for longer. I think that's also where people see the benefit of Samen genetics over maybe the others that are out on the market. And I guess that's where, if you're serious about growing strong animals, then it's a no-brainer. I'd like to be in a financial position where we can, be a bit more flexible with our herd numbers and really push the cows that are really good at producing milk solids and have fewer cows and require fewer replacements, but not compromise the production of the farm, chasing that production, chasing those components. And as a result, if I can ease up a bit of space on the farm and sort of diversify with beef genetics that actually are proven to do well and grow well, and shouldn't, why not? It adds another element to the cash flow. And to be fair, the Samen genetics for the Belgian Blue have been such low weight calving ease calves that we haven't had any issues at all. We haven't had any assists with the Belgian Blues. We actually had one cow calve last year, triplets. So that was quite exciting, one of a kind, but they are such friendly animals, and it's nice to be able to have a market there that people are actually, I want that cross animal, I want that Belgian Blue cross whatever, because they are genetically capable of carrying that weight and growing that meat, whereas when it does come to your other breeds such as Herefords or Angus, you've got a lot of veteran beef farmers out there that look at an animal and they just know that's the animal they want, or that one's got too much marking on its body, don't want that one, and it's totally visual. Whereas I think the Belgian Blue, it's like it doesn't matter if they're not perfect looking, it doesn't matter if they've got the structure to carry them through to gain that weight, to become efficient animals. And so as a result, there is a growing demand for them, and they're such friendly wee things. I haven't got any in this pen, but they are the most friendliest, calmest, easy to feed, and I feel like they've just got a stronger gut in a way. I haven't had any that have, you get some breeds that are a little bit more sensitive to too much milk or any nutritional issues, but the Belgian Blues seem to really be standing on their own in terms of a really premium beef genetic and within the dairy sector. I would recommend Samen to other farmers because I think it's important to open up your herd to a bit of choice and a bit of genetic opportunity. You just bring a bit of fresh, bit of something else, a bit of new lines and new genetics that we haven't really had much to do with in New Zealand. I think it just freshens up a herd and opens that opportunity the next level, and I think that's where really the value is also for farmers who choose Samen and overseas bulls as a choice for their mating